Good morning from Great Outdoor Solar, located in Winter Haven, Florida. That's in between Tampa and Orlando, aka Central Florida. So if you're looking to have RV solar installed for your mobile application, tour bus, van, RV, we can take care of you. And just so you know, I've been doing RV solar since 2017. I lived and traveled full-time off-grid for 3 years. You may recognize me from my prior YouTube channel, I'm Not Lost, I'm RVing. So today I'm showing off this Brinkley 3100 Model Z fifth wheel that we installed our standard 1000 watt package in. They did opt to go with one additional battery. So our 1000 watt package comes with 1000 watts of solar, 618 amp hours of lithium batteries, the inverters, and all the other parts, labor, and everything. If you want to know how much that cost, well, we have flat rate pricing right on our website, greatoutdoorssolar.com. That's Great Outdoors with an S, solar.com, and you can see how much this installation would cost. We have our pricing right there. This got our 1000 watt package, and I'm gonna kind of show you what it entails. I'm gonna start up here on the front. I do want to mention that this coach already had a 370 watt Furrion panel on the roof, and it was already pre-wired for a sub panel for a smaller inverter to go in, but we put in our Multi Plus 2 so they can power the whole coach from this lithium battery bank. Pretty cool. Check it out. Now, the whole system got installed right here in the front bay. You can see the inverter is up on the roof. We have our batteries here. So let's start over here in the bottom left-hand corner. We put in 4 of our 206 amp hour heated and Bluetooth SOK batteries. These come with a 7-year transferable warranty. So there's 4 206 amp hour batteries, which means they have 824 usable amp hours of battery. Pretty cool. We have our disconnect and our battery-based shunt coming in right here, so we can turn off the battery disconnect. And we have our battery monitor. This gives them a real percentage. I'll show you that on the screen inside. This is an easy upgrade if you just want to do lithiums. You definitely want to do a shunt-based battery monitor. Moving up, we have all of our fuses and everything coming into here. So we have our 2 solar fuses, our main battery fuse, and our inverter fuse are all located underneath here. And then we have one more additional fuse that we added for the house power. See, this one was prepped for a generator, but it did not have one on board, and I don't think they're gonna need one after the solar package that we put on. This has a Cerbo, so this is the networking hub, so everything can be controlled from here. Not only can you control and view everything from Bluetooth from about 30 feet away, but if you have this connected to the internet via Wi-Fi, you can actually monitor and control your system remotely over the internet, which is really, really cool. Not only can you control it, but we can remote log in as well. So if you're having some questions or concerns, or you just need help with figuring something out, we can always remote log in and give you a hand as well. Now, this is the charge controller that we replaced. It originally had a Furrion charge controller for the 370 watt panel that was up on the roof. We replaced it with this Victron 100-300. So that is just for the existing Furrion panel that was already stock when they bought the coach. And then we added 5 200 watt panels. So they have 1000 watts that we've added. So now they have 1370 watts up on the roof, which is gonna be great for 2 people wanting to full-time off-grid. So this handles the 1000 watts that we installed. So they have 2 charge controllers. The reason we replaced a Furrion is so it's a Victron and it can network in and everything will show up on the touchscreen inside. And then moving over to the left, we have our solar disconnect. So the solar panel, comes into here and you can turn it off, which it is turned off right now because we're underneath this shaded cover. And then right above us is where the Victron Multi Plus 3000, this is the Multi Plus 2 times 120. So this is for 50 amp coaches. This will allow you to have 2400 watts of continuous power, or 20 amps. It's a hybrid inverter charger, so not only does it charge the batteries when you have shore power or a generator plugged in, but if you're plugged into a smaller shore power source, you can dial down the limit and actually use your solar system to create additional power, up to 20 amps of additional power. So if you're plugged into a 50 or 30 amp plug, for example, you can actually get 50 usable amps out of a 30 amp because you're getting 20 coming off your solar system. So pretty cool, really nice if you're gonna be doing some mooch docking or driveway circuit or something like that. So everything fit up in this front bay. One thing I really like about the Brinkley is how they use this, like this plastic, it's like a garage floor material. I don't know how to explain, it's like a rubbery type thing. I like that as opposed to the carpet that can get really sandy and dirty up in here, and it's nice and metal down here, which is nice. It's actually thick and not real flimsy like a lot of times they are. And this wall itself is actually pretty decent. You can see we were able to mount our components directly on the wall. A lot of times in coaches, we have to build a wall. Kind of like how we put a wall up here to hang the inverter on. The one that was here was a little too small because it was pre-wired to run a sub panel only from a smaller inverter. We wanted to put a bigger inverter in, so we had to make the board a little bit bigger to hold our big inverter. And then the existing battery was already here. You can see there's actually a hole in the floor where it used to be. And so we put down a vapor barrier, and then we put down some wood for the actual batteries to sit on, and they aren't going anywhere. We built a whole base all the way around them, and of course they're strapped down as well. So that's pretty much it in the front bay. Everything lives up here. They can still store some components or some items up here, you know, nothing that's going to get wet or anything, but they can still store some stuff up here. So they didn't lose all of their storage space. In fact, if they wanted to carry a generator, there's still plenty of space to put one up here, because we didn't even take, you know, half the bay up with 824 amp hours of lithium batteries. Coming over to the pass-through bay, we didn't actually have to run any wires up through here on the ceiling, which is cool. Sometimes we have to kind of come in here and come along, just depends on how it's set up. But this coach has a huge pass-through bay. They didn't do the little wall that a lot of people bump back out. That's a pretty common mod. They actually made it to where you can have a lot more usable space in here, which is pretty cool. What we did is we came down over here. Let me open this one. Should be a light in there. There we go. We came down with our solar and all of our 120 volt connections. We cleaned up some of the wiring here, and we actually went straight down underneath, which there's a vapor barrier. So we dropped that, ran the wires underneath, and they go up into that front bay. So we avoided the propane cavity. We avoided, you know, running any wires through here. So everything goes underneath the coach, and none of this. So that means all of this is still usable. We don't have any intrusions here. They still have a huge storage space because we only had to really use that front bay. Now moving inside of the Brinkley. Oh, this was kind of neat. This coach is actually signed. I think it's one of the first coaches off of the production floor from Brinkley. So I thought that was pretty cool. So this is where the main electrical panel comes in. So our inverter does tie directly into the main panel. And to control everything, you need to do it right here through the touch screen that we put in. Now, the customer decided to upgrade to the Touch 70 instead of the Touch 50 that comes with our package. The Touch 50 is a 5-inch screen. The Touch 70 is a 7-inch screen. And wow, did that fit perfectly in there. We actually had to take off this whole faceplate here, fish the wire through it over. Not an easy task to get this in, but it turned out fantastic. We also had to run a second set of wires down from the solar, and we came down kind of through this chaseway right here. So this right here actually lets you monitor and control everything that's going on with the coach, and it's just a nice touch screen. So you can see we have shore power coming in, the batteries are in float because the inverter has in float. There's not any AC loads because there's nothing that needs to be turned on in here or anything. The batteries are full, and then DC power. This is our lights and stuff. So if I turn off some switches for the lights, for example, this will go down. See, it was at 190. I'm gonna turn some lights back on, and you'll see it go right back up. So that's actual DC power. That's your lights, your vent fans, stuff like that. And you can see our solar production is currently 0 watts. That's because we're underneath our bay where we do all of our work. And so we have the solar currently turned off. So out in the sun, this is gonna have 1370 watts, which is great. You can actually control your inverter from right here. So you can turn the inverter to off, on, charger only, so it only charges the battery and lets it pass through. Inverter only if you just want to use the batteries only, and then of course off. And then you can actually dial down your current limit as well. We have a 20 amp plug here at Great Outdoor Solar, so we have this turned down to 17 so we can test their air conditioners, because not only are we, you know, install RV solar, we also install soft starts from Micro Air. So we installed 2 soft starts on these Furions so they can run their air conditioning directly off of this inverter. Now, this inverter can produce 2400 watts or 20 amps continuously. So that means one large appliance, because one rooftop air conditioner pulls about 13 to 1500 watts. So that gives them about 800 watts left over to run things like a TV, a laptop, the other stuff they're gonna run. So this is gonna help out run one large appliance at a time. We do have the option of adding a second inverter if you like, so you can run 2 large items at a time. But in my experience, living and traveling full time for 3 years off grid, you don't really need more than what this unit can produce, because you're mainly only going to run one large appliance at a time the majority of the time while you're out dry camping. So it's not like you're going to run your air conditioning all day long. Now this setup, since we have 824 amp hours, you can get about 45 minutes of air conditioning per 100 amp hours of lithium battery banks. So yes, you can run the air conditioner off of this. No, there's not enough solar to collect the power so you can run air conditioning indefinitely. Your battery bank will go down. There's not enough solar to keep up with it. And what I found in my experience as it comes to air conditioning on solar, you really need to have a mini split air conditioner if you want to try to run your air conditioning off solar all the time. That's what I did in my coach. I had a full rack over system. I had a mini split installed on my Class C, and I was able to run my air conditioning directly off of solar. But when you get to bigger rigs like this, you need multiple air conditioners to keep up with how large the space is, which just means you need more solar collections on the roof. And there's not enough power collection on the roof. When we've done 40-foot triple axle New Horizon fifth wheels with 3,200 watts of solar, and it won't still keep up with one air conditioner running 24/7. They just consume too much power. We can keep up with everything other than the rooftop air conditioner. Now we can power your rooftop air conditioner for 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 hours, no problem, depending on how big of your battery bank you want to go. But during the daytime, you're not getting enough solar to recharge that battery bank back up. So these systems are for following the weather, or for, if you want a few hours of AC, so you're pulling over at a rest stop, you want to make some lunch, you can kick on the AC without dragging the generator out and all that good stuff. So pretty nice. If you're out dry camping on this type of system that we install, you're going to run out of gray tank space and fresh water before you're going to run out of electricity if you're following the weather, because it's going to keep up with all the lights, the vent fans. I have customers that run 3D printing businesses. I have customers that work remotely, 2 people with multiple monitors. We can keep up with all of that while you're living off grid. It's just the rooftop RV air conditioners that are so inefficient. We can even keep up with your residential fridge, not a problem. This is actually a 12-volt fridge, which is pretty cool, which is even more nice for solar, because you don't need an inverter to keep this thing going. It runs directly off the batteries. But for those of you that have the residential style fridges, yes, our RV solar packages can keep up with that. We even have recommendations on our website for what size you would need with that. But essentially, all the parts that we put in, it seems kind of complex, but really all you're doing is turning your inverter on or off if you want 120 volt power. And it really is that simple. Everything else works in the background. You don't have to do anything but monitor your battery levels. If your battery levels get too low, well, then you turn off some things, you crank up a generator, or you find an RV park. But the systems that we put in, this has 824 amp hours. I personally had that in my RV, and I ran my mini split 24/7 off of it. So this is going to keep up with our usages, no problem whatsoever. Even if they get inclement weather for a few days in a row, this is going to keep up because it's such a large battery bank. And the 1,300 watts that's on the roof is going to refill that battery bank for them. So pretty killer system. Moving on from the solar system, I'm sure you want to kind of see what the RV looks like. It's a pretty classic fifth wheel setup in my opinion. You have a dining table right here, couch, island in the middle. There's opposing slides on the driver and passenger side. There's a couch back in the back along the back window wall. TV slides up right there. And then we have the main kitchen area right here, which I'm kind of blocking some of it because I'm standing here. And the fridge is here as well. Pantry is back over in this corner. It's blocked right now because the slides are in. And then you have almost like a little coffee bar area right near the entry point when you first come in. Coming over to these nice lit up steps, going into the living area and the bathroom. I think the bathroom is really nice in here. It's a good size. It's got plenty of storage. And one thing I like about this bathroom is how tall the actual shower is. A lot of times they'll build these shower floors up and you don't have enough room height above you. Now I'm 5'10", so plenty of space up above me, and they put the skylight right here, which gives you even more of that little bump out, which is pretty cool. So nice big size shower. And then as far as the bedroom is concerned, it's on a slide. You can get to it and get in it without the slide being out. You have to crawl in though. And there's a huge closet back over there. And of course we have a TV mounted here as well. And nice thing about this is there's actually a door that closes off the bedroom, which is kind of cool. So that's pretty much for the inside. Let me take you upstairs, or on the roof I should say, and show you the solar panels, and we'll go from there. We're now on the roof of this RV. Sorry it's so loud, it's because we have both air conditioners running. There's a Furrion regular one right above y'all. See it right here. And then there is a Furrion low profile running at the front of the rig. We're trying to cool down the RV because the client is picking up today. We're also testing the system, making sure everything's working properly. And we installed soft starts on these, so we're running them off the inverter as well in assist mode. So pretty cool. I can show you that in a minute inside, but first look at these panels. This RV already had a 370 watt panel from the factory, so we left that. The solar port is located underneath it. We added a second solar port, and then we added 5 200 watt rich solar panels on the roof. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 panels up here on the roof. This client actually wanted us to use a specific sealant, which is not uncommon for us. Normally we use 3M 4000 UV, which is a great sealant. I use it on my own personal RV. It's like for marine applications. But occasionally we have customers that specify they want a certain sealant for their manufacturer. This is one of them. And so we use the 5121, if I'm not mistaken what the name of it was. It looks a little different, first time for us using this sealant, but Brinkley has a different sealant they're using. I think they're offering a longer warranty, don't quote me on that, for their roof. And so the clients want to make sure that we're using the sealant that the manufacturer is using, and that's exactly what we did. So we can definitely make accommodations like that, no problem whatsoever. Let's jump inside and take a look at this system powering both the air conditioners and get off this hot roof. Real quick, I jumped back inside because we have the air conditioner running in the bedroom, and we also have the air conditioning running in the living room as well. Now we are only plugged into a 20 amp shore source. So you can see we have the current limit set down to 17 amps, and the inverter is currently in assisting mode. So it's pulling 1800 watts from shore. It's pulling about 1000 watts out of the batteries. The inverter is assisting the shore power, and that's providing loads for 2600 watts, which that's both air conditioners running right now. Now, of course, we still don't have solar because we're parked underneath the awning, but pretty cool. On a 20 amp circuit, you can see that we're running both air conditioners right off of our solar system. So you can see what's going on. If we go into the battery itself, we can see that we can continue to do this for about another 10 hours before the battery is dead. Pretty cool that we're able to get that long off of a 20 amp circuit running 2 air conditioners, because basically the shore power is powering one of them and most of the second one, and the battery bank is powering, you know, about 1000 watts for the second air conditioner that's running. Really, really nice to have this hybrid feature, and why we stick with Victron components. Okay, that wraps up our look at that Brinkley 3100 Model Z fifth wheel here at Great Outdoor Solar. Again, that is our 50 amp towable package. It's one of our many packages we offer here with flat rate pricing. There is no tax or sales tax for solar. So the price you see on our website for 30 and 50 amp motorhomes and 30 and 50 amp towables is right there. We have some add-ons as well, like how this customer added on a battery. They upgraded from the Touch 50 to the Touch 70. We offer little upgrades like that. We also do easy starts. We are a Victron dealer, so we sell Victron components here. You can find us on Victron's website for that. We're also an SLK dealer and a Rich Solar dealer. So we keep all the parts in stock here. I will tell you that summer is our slower season, but as of August of last year, we were booked for the rest of the year. So winter is definitely our busy season. So if you're gonna be in Florida in the winter and you wanna have a solar package installed by us, jump over to our website, greatoutdoorsolar.com, take a look at the pricing. We also do custom installations as well. We do just lithium battery upgrades and things like that. So you can jump over there to find out more information about pricing. You can see that we do custom installs. So there's a little inquiry, like a little form you fill out if you need a custom installation and not one of the packages that we do. And we can give you a quote on how much that's gonna be. So look for our booth right here at the trade shows. If you're gonna be at one, we will be at the Florida Summer Trade Show. That is gonna be over at the Tampa, the Florida State Fairgrounds in June. And we'll be at the Florida Super Show in January of 2024, just like we were at it this year. And yes, I will be doing some seminars on solar again, just like I did last time. We had lots of people that really enjoyed that. So if you want some more information about solar and you're gonna be at the Super Show next January, stop by the seminar for some free information. Of course, you can stop by our booth as well. Just take a look for us. We got a big, nice glowing sign. We'll be happy to get any questions answered for you about RV Solar. We look forward to seeing you soon.